Tyrese Halliburton and the Indiana Pacers have found themselves on the better side of history 4 times in the NBA playoffs so far. I don't think we've ever witnessed a single player string together go-ahead baskets this much in an NBA playoff run to where he's having at least one every single series. Whether it's Game 5 against the Milwaukee Bucks, whether it's Game 2 against the Cleveland Cavaliers, or whether it's Game 1 against the New York Knicks, Tyrese Halliburton and the Indiana Pacers have made their way to the finals off of pure history. Leaving fans across the world stunned. But even with all the postseason success that the Indiana Pacers have seen, they're about to meet their toughest threat yet. Coming into this game, we knew the Indiana Pacers would have to play one-on-one basketball and beat OKC by beating them one-on-one. Here you can see that there's multiple people you can pick on against the Bucks. He gets Bobby Portis out in space and creates a good enough look to where he can get off a clean jump shot in the mid-range. As you can see, the Knicks are running a double big lineup with Cat and Mitchell Robinson, 2 slow-footed bigs that Hallie can take advantage of in space. But with the Oklahoma City Thunder taking out Isaiah Hartenstein and inserting Cason Wallace into the lineup, this gives the Thunder a lot more speed that they can use to take away that advantage that Hallie had all throughout the postseason. And from the very start of the game, you can see that pre-adjustment worked perfectly. The Indiana Pacers, as you can tell by these clips, are struggling to create paint touches. And with a team that doesn't run a lot of pick and roll and they use a free-flowing style of offense to create open looks, this almost never works against OKC. The way they swarm the ball, the way they make you play through your worst decision makers, and the way they rotate all around the perimeter makes it easily one of the toughest defenses to create open looks against. So they had to make an adjustment pretty quickly. After a 7-0 run, it looks like the Pacers may have found something, using Pascal Siakam as a mismatch against Cason Wallace because he just has a strength and length advantage to get to the rim pretty quickly. And it's all about quick decision making against this Oklahoma City Thunder team. When we saw Julius Randle struggle, he held the ball way too long, and Pascal does not do that. We saw an almost instant adjustment with Coach Daigneault. He instantly takes out Cason Wallace and puts in Alex Caruso, someone who is just more well-equipped to guard forwards and centers, being a smaller defender out there on the floor. If you take a look at this next clip, Alex Caruso is basically denying Pascal Siakam the ball, making it harder for him to get the ball in the post where he is most effective. And being uncomfortable on the perimeter is almost like a shark smelling blood in the water for the Oklahoma City Thunder. When you're uncomfortable on the perimeter, that leads to turnovers. OKC has the ability to swarm around the perimeter like we've almost never seen before. They have the most collective active hands in the NBA and some of the most collective active hands that we've seen in NBA history. So this is going to lead to turnovers multiple times. And with a team like Indiana who has not just seen this level of physicality through a 7-game series, we kind of expected that this would give Indiana some trouble. This led to a lot of Aaron Nesmith turnovers, a lot of Miles Turner turnovers. There were just a lot of moments in this game where OKC just did not allow the Pacers to be comfortable on the perimeter at all. Now, I don't want to say that turnovers are good, but against a team like OKC who thrives off getting turnovers on defense and lets that be one of the main factors of their offense, having most of these turnovers in the first quarter be dead ball turnovers and taking away the opportunity for the Oklahoma City Thunder to get out and run and create cross matches and to get easier shots at the rim, this was a pretty good thing for the Indiana Pacers to have happen, taking away some of that easy offense for the Thunder and keeping them in this game. And another thing I want to talk about with the Indiana Pacers, and just to give them credit, the Oklahoma City Thunder had a 69-point offensive rating in transition, which is one of the lowest performances they have had all year. And this has a lot to do with a lot of dead ball turnovers that the Indiana Pacers were having, and also their transition defense and not complaining to the refs or dropping their head after a turnover and just getting back on defense. We've seen this with other teams, with the Nuggets, with the Grizzlies, with the Timberwolves. They would drop their heads, complain to the refs, while the Oklahoma City Thunder had a 3-on-1 advantage on the other side. And I think Lou Dort was the second best player for the Thunder throughout the entire game. He shoots 5 for 9 from 3. He has 2 really big offensive rebounds and 4 steals and 2 really big blocks. Something that has been a concern for Lu Dort has been his off-ball defense. He's always been known as this fantastic on-the-ball defender. What he did against Luka Doncic in the playoffs last year and what he's shown against guys like Donovan Mitchell over the season this season. But him getting better as an off-ball defender and as a three-point shooter has really helped this Thunder team, and it showed in this game. And then even before we move on, I want to talk about SGA. SGA was getting anywhere he wanted in this game. It was some possessions earlier in the game where it doesn't matter if it's Nembhard, Nesmith, Halley, TJ McConnell, Benedict Mathurin. He was getting wherever he wanted on the floor, and he was collapsing the defense. He was getting a lot of open shots for his guys, and he was creating really good offense for the Thunder in the first half. Now, for the last two players I want to give praises to for the Oklahoma City Thunder, and that's Isaiah Hartenstein and Alex Caruso. I think Alex Caruso came in and did a really good job against Pascal Siakam. We saw that earlier in the episode, but Isaiah Hartenstein coming into this series playing off the bench because the Thunder did not want him to be caught in space as much against guys like Pascal Siakam, against guys like Tyrese Halliburton, against guys like Andrew Nembhard and Benedict Mathurin. So he came off the bench, but when he was in, he was really impactful. He was rebounding. He was going to the rim. There was a fake dribble handoff that he did to drive to the basket and get an and one. He was good as a passer. He was good as a defender in space, just being very impactful and doing the little things on the defensive side. But now I want to talk about the Oklahoma City Thunder and where they could have lost this game. And that's Jalen Williams to start off. Coming into this postseason, we looked at Jalen Williams as, let's wait and see. Let's see what Jalen Williams can do against athletic defenders, guys that can stop him from getting to his spots, and he just does not have the athletic gifts to be a guy that can rely on a mid-range shot as consistently as he does. He does not get the open looks that you would like him to get for him to command an offense when Shai's not on the floor and to be somebody that is reliable enough consistently as of right now. And I do think this is something that can change. They can change Jalen Williams' role offensively, use him as a roller, a cutter, somebody that can play out of the post, somebody that can have off-ball actions ran for him. But as of right now, with the ball in his hand, he does not have the touch or the mid-range shooting capability to lean on those contested shots that he takes. And as for Chet Holmgren, he just was not good tonight. He might have been the worst player out of the three guys I'm going to bring up. Chet Holmgren, he didn't take advantage of the Miles Turner mismatch like I thought he would. We all came into this game saying Chet had an advantage against Miles Turner because there's a ball handling and quickness ability that Chet will be able to get to against Miles Turner. That's driving to the basket, playing off ball, and shooting. And we could all assume that Chet Holmgren is the best defender on the floor. And in this game, he just really struggled. I think the Pacers did a really good job of cutting off his rolls when he was rolling to the basket, making him play from the perimeter and not allowing him to beat you off the dribble if you were Miles Turner. Now it is time to give praise for the team that won this game in the Indiana Pacers. And if you look at this game, the Indiana Pacers were outplayed for at least 75% of this game. Now, does that mean they should just lay down and roll over and give this game up? No. You are the Indiana Pacers, a team that does not get to the NBA Finals as consistently, a team that is a small market team, a team that has a guy like Tyrese Halliburton, who is known as the most overrated player in the NBA. This is a team that just does not give up. The Indiana Pacers made big shot after big shot after big shot. I think Obi Toppin made 5 threes. 5 threes. Miles Turner hit a step back bank shot from the corner. The Indiana Pacers were phenomenal in the third quarter and in the fourth. And I think it all came down to the turnover battle. The turnover battle was significant. I think the Indiana Pacers had 5 turnovers in the second half compared to their 19 in the first half. That's a big gap. That's a big difference for a team like Indiana to have better control of the possession battle in the second half. And the Indiana Pacers, when you look at this game, you see that the Oklahoma City Thunder have a rebounding advantage, a field goal attempt advantage, a turnover advantage. But then you look deeper and say the Oklahoma City Thunder had a 69 offensive rating in transition. They also had 11 points in transition off after multiple transition attempts. The Pacers did a really good job in playing transition defense. They did a really good job at creating open looks, and the role players knocked them down. Aaron Nesmith, Miles Turner, Obi Toppin, Benedict Mathurin had some good possessions defensively. And before we get out of here, I want to talk about all the discourse over the NBA Finals ratings. I've seen people say on Twitter, is there anything good to watch on TV? You cover the NBA and you're not excited to watch the finals. There are people who get paid hundreds of thousands of dollars saying they're not excited for the NBA Finals, and I really hope this first game changed that narrative. Over the past 3 to 4 years, we've seen people complain about the people that are in the finals, when a lot of the people that made the finals were well deserved to make it. And I think the Indiana Pacers fall as one of those teams. They've been one of the best teams in the league over the past second half of the season. Tyrese Halliburton has been playing at an all-NBA level. You could say the same about Pascal Siakam, and they've been the best offense in the postseason. And the NBA is in a fantastic place. You have a lot of teams that play such a different brand of basketball, and there are two teams who have some slight similarities, but also have two very different superstars, in Tyrese Halliburton being a team first, pass first, hyper efficient point guard, and SGA being an ISO creator that's hyper efficient, tall, dribble heavy, getting to the paint, driving, and finishing around the mid range. There's just no way that you can see the best offense in the league go up against the best defensive league in the most talented era in NBA history and say this is not the finals you wanted. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys like this type of content, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate everybody watching. We're going to be doing breakdowns of every single game of the NBA Finals, just because I think this is going to be a fantastic series, and it's only gotten better because the Pacers won Game 1. And with all that being said, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.